Good evening and welcome to Friday Live. And hopefully everybody can hear me okay. And of course, however that goes with Mr. Ed. We are coming to you live from and did I lose my there it goes. It burped on me and I couldn't I lost sound for a minute. So anyway, click here, Steve. Click where, John? Jeez. Well, Dwight, turn your sound down then. You do have a volume control on your phone or computer. We all do. So anyway, those are preset volumes. And I'm watching the chat. Let's go ahead and run through who all's here. I've said hi to most everybody. James at Dundas Junction was first in at 4:34. All right. Followed by JD, Grandpa Rails at 5:33, and Dwight at 5:34. These are all central times, of course. Joe came on board at 5:45. He was early. And we're going down at Schuylkill River Valley John, or John number 2. Happy birthday, John. It was at 5:49. C and E.I. John, my sidekick over in Tennessee, got here at 5:51. And scrolling some more. Scroll. Andy, Hot Dog Pilot Andy, got here at 5:55. DES Media Productions, aka Dave, my bad company partner, came in at 5:56. And Chris, the model train aficionado, came in at 5:56 as well, as did Lynn McCurdy. There shouldn't be an echo because I'm not hearing it. And Joe, did Joe? Who else? Scrolling. Thomas Grassi joined us at 5:58. And everybody's saying highs and hellos. John Train BFGR. I think that's a new one. Welcome, John Train at BFGR. Or somebody that's changed their name and I'm not aware of it. Okay. That's it. No echo from Steve, just in a chat. Oh, okay, good. I was going to say, I only have one microphone on. If I had an echo, I'd be able to hear it through my headphones. And I don't hear any sound through my headphones, so I am not echoing. Rail artist Mike is here. Hey, Mike, welcome. All right, this, of course, is another edition of On Track Tuesday. It's the second Tuesday of the month. Last month you got stuck with me twice, once for my week and once filling in for Robert, the Flying Crow, because he was getting his kicks on Route 66. All right. So tonight, I thought we'd have a little fun. All right. And do something constructive. And no, it's not about 3D printing for a change. Yay. Although you can still see I still have all kinds of cars and stuff down here. But that's here nor there. We're going to talk about number boards. Number boards. Back in episode 57 of Workbench Wednesday, I was doing a decoder and sound install for a Proto 2008 that I had that I picked up from Claude. And even though it was a decoder install, sound decoder, and keep it alive, all right, one person who will remain nameless had to point out that there's light bleed. Well, yeah, there's light bleed because the number board there on the engine's left side, right side to us, doesn't have a number board. So you have light bleed through there. You have light bleed around the door for the lower light. All right. And so what happened somewhere in the process, this lens on the left side of the locomotive was lost. So I have to replace that lens and put a new number board on it. So I figured we'd start with that. All right. And of course, I tried to make sure I had all of my stuff over here. And I'm missing one thing, so I will run over to the other workbench. Okay. To fill in that lens, you can use micro crystal clear or Jalen's tacky glue. They're both what is it, PBA, PB, whatever, Elmer's glue type concoctions. Just the thickness varies substantially on it. And well, now, Mike, I'm not exactly a youngster myself, so don't think I'm as old as you, but I'm not a youngster. And anyway, hey, Ray Ron has joined us. So simply taking a toothpick, all right, and getting some micro crystal clear or Jalen's on there, you can fill the hole there. All right, and then wait for it to set up, which I have already done. This one I used micro crystal clear on yesterday. All right, so all it has to do is need a decal. Now, I would venture a guess that all of us at one time or another have had an Athearn Blue Box GP or SD or an F unit that has, well, at least the GPs and SDs over the years had lenses on the front. Okay. And over the class lights. You can do what I'm talking about with the class lights as well. But on this, all right, the number boards is solid. There's just a rim around where it should be. So what can be done is you can drill those out All right, and to do that, I simply use my saker with the wand and a drill bit. Okay. And for each number board, I drill 3 holes, 1 on each side and 1 in the middle. And the drill bit's the width of the number board. I'm going to switch cameras for a second so you can get a closer look at this. Okay. So you drill those out. Then you can take your hobby files. Okay. And file it out to make it right. And then you can fill them in with the Microsoft Crystal Clear or J-Leans. Now we're gonna fill that one in right now. Maybe if I get I was gonna use the J-Leans just to show you it can be done. And I got it off. And I've got 1 bottle of J-Leans that's really thick because I left the nozzle off at one point. Okay, so I'm going to try. Let me try doing it a different way. Let's try doing that a little bit. All right, and you just go over the hole and fill it and smooth it out. All right, that's one side. I'll come back and smooth that out here in a second. I'll do the other side. And it's easy to do, and it dries crystal clear. All right, now throw the toothpick away so you don't end up getting it, putting your elbow down in it or something like that. Helps to have a little bit of paper towel in the neighborhood. And remember, it dries crystal clear. All right. So that's how easy it is to fill in the number board. Okay. Now I have the GP35 that needs to be drilled out, and we can do that as well. All right. Oh, Deep Run Railroad Mike. And let me pull that over here. And the Saker unit I talk about, you know, they're advertised on eBay all the time. It's a little table saw, and it's got a disc sander attachment on the other side, and then it's got the attachment for the Dremel pipe wand. And we will drill this one out. At least one side, just so you can see how it's done. And I should take it apart, but I'm not gonna. As I mentioned, I do 3 holes, 1 at each end. And 1 in the center. There's 1. two. Now one in the center. Okay. Like that. All right. And you can do the same to the other side. And then use the files. Or take your Exacto. Where am I at? And cut through. Making one long groove. Okay, like that. And what am I missing in the chat? Am I missing? Oh, okay. And I can take my file and simply take the edges off, flatten it out. The next part's the fun part. Okay. Or if you prefer, all right, there. The next thing to do is you got to do decals. All right. So you need decal paper. Well, there's two types that I use. I use the clear water slide decal paper for use with inkjet printers. Okay? Because that's what I have. And I have a white water slide decal with use with inkjet printers. And it says instructions included. And I highly recommend that you read the instructions because seal the design once you print the page with your desired decal, seal it with a clear coat. If you don't, your inkjet ink will just dissipate when you put it in the water. Okay, so you seal it with a clear coat. Now, whether you want to use Rust-Oleum or Rust-Oleum, both of those are gloss. And in some cases, I will even use a matte finish. A lot of people will tell you got to paint the area you're applying the decal with gloss so that the clear glossy paper can't be seen. And then once it's on, seal it with a matte. Or you could just seal the decal with a matte finish to begin with. So either way works, just hunky-dory. So let's get back to this E-unit, shall we? I've taken the liberty and I've gone ahead and I created a sheet of number boards because I'm going to go back through all of my Athearn blue boxes and do the number boards for those because none of them had number boards. Okay, so that's what I have here. Plus, I've done the 9940B for that E unit. But before we do that, let's see how that is done, shall we? And we're going to need, or at least I use, two things. I use Microsoft Word, and I'm going to back this up a little bit. All right. I use Microsoft Word, and you don't need any fancy stuff to do that. And Paint, Microsoft Paint, comes with every computer, right? So for number boards, I am going to use the white paper and then make the background all black. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is, that's the letter D up here. It's not showing. So bring her down a little bit. Okay. So that is the letter color, and below it is the background color. Okay. Well, we want the background, in this case, to be black. So we change that to black. We come over here to the little paint can. All right. And we paint the whole thing black. See how easy that was? Now, then we go to text, and we want the text, which is this one up here, we want that to be white. And okay. We want the letters to be white, which is that one. Okay. I have found, and my preference is to use a font size of 7 through trial and error. All right. And let's just pick a number out, 457. All right, so there's the 457, which I'm not sure if you can see. Probably not. And see if I move this up closer. And you still probably can't see it worth a dang, huh? But trust me when I say that's a 457. And we can adjust the background a little bit. We can go with that, flip that, actually. Then we can crop. And remember, we don't need to crop close because we can cut it close when we cut them out. All right, so there is our number. And we are going to take that and copy it. And we're going to go over to our Word. Why did it do that to me? All right, Word, and we're going to paste it. Bing. See, there it is. That easy. And what I always do is I do double the amount of what I need. So if this was a GP, as an example, I would want 4 of them. That's what I need, 4. So I'm going to print 8. All right, so there's 8 for 457. Okay. All right. Yeah, I hope people are watching. Okay, so there we have those. Now we're going to flip back over and we're going to go here. And as I mentioned, I already printed mine. So we need the 9940 9940B. All right. And I only need 2, even though I printed many more than that. And I'll cut them out. I'll cut out 2, just in case I screw up the first one, and it wouldn't be the first time, right? All right. So I've got 2 9940Bs cut out. Now I can take these and I can size them against the new lens. All right, and I need to shave the top and the bottom a little bit. But I want a little bit of overhang so that I don't have light bleed, right, John? All right. And we'll size it again. May cut it down a little too much, but we'll see. No, that should be good. All right, now we get our tweezers. And I already have water. Switch back over here. And we'll zoom that one out. Okay, already have my cup of water. Yeah, we're going to dunk that in there. I should have put on my glasses. Let me put on my glasses so I can read. All right. There's Jason. We're doing number boards, Jason. All right. And number boards and how to make lenses. There's Todd Armstrong. Fresno Jason. Hello, hello. All right. Now let's see if I can get this on there without too many headaches. Looks like it's coming off just easy peasy. All right, where's a toothpick? I had my whole box of toothpicks. What did I do with them? Oh, right here in front of me. Okay. So, just to prove that I knew I'd screw something up, we go right over here. I left this bottle of Aleene's because it's so thick. I took the top off. And I laid it down so that I could scoop out stuff. And lo and behold, look what I did. I made a mess. I made a mess. And we'll address that later. In the meantime, let's take a look, and we can zoom in on that E unit. There you go. And it has the number board on it. Easy peasy. All right, other than the mess. And so let's see how it looks up on the layout, side by side with that original picture, shall we? And do, 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 do. Okay, so here it is alongside the other. Let's add some juice. And add some lights. Hang on. That flickering on the top light is because it's a Mars light. Yes, John, I still have light around the door opening. I know. I'm not worried about that at this point. I'm addressing number boards. How come the body is crooked? I don't know that it is light. It's not. It's probably the camera lens and how close it is. I don't know. So it now has a number board. Of course, it's not. The camera's not focusing correctly. But in real life, it is perfect. I didn't drop it. No. What you're seeing between the pilot and the body, there's a gap, small gap. That was due to it being dropped or cracked or whatever before I got it. There's a slight crack up in the nose as well. Which adds some light bleed. There's a crack that runs right through here. All right, and then there's a gap down here. I can't fill in that gap because if I do, they're two different pieces. The shell attaches to the frame one way and the pilot attaches to the frame another way. So if I filled in the gap, I'd have a problem opening it back up again if I ever had to. Push it away from the camera a little, please. Okay, we can do that. Like that. I think where the problem is coming from is this freight car right there. I think it was focusing on the reefer instead of that one. Oh, Bob at PK Metalworks, PKW Metalworks. I don't know if I missed anybody while I was doing it. All right. Any other questions? That's how easy it is to do number boards. All right, drill out. If you have to drill out, file it, make it even, fill it in with micro crystal clear or Aleenes. Either one works. All right, and I'm doing a series on this in a little more detail. This is the down and dirty method. Yeah, Mike, it's not very hard to do. I mean, you saw the whole process. Almost everybody has Microsoft Word. If not Word, you can use Notepad or just about anything. Everybody should have Paint or the equivalent. And inkjet printer is the most common. You just need to buy the paper. And here's the key. When you want to print all of your number boards, take the time and print them all out on a sheet. Okay. And so you're not wasting a full sheet of decals. Now, the bottom half of this sheet had some other decals on it, right, that were irrelevant to this, so I just cut them off. Okay. Now, talking about decals, as long as we're on that subject, you can do it in Excel. Yeah, you can do it there too, John. And I was doing the cars, and these are World War II staff cars. And to do the star, I got to think, I've seen hole punches that are stars. So I bought the smallest one I could find, which was a 1/4 inch. Okay. Well, John saw one that was 5 millimeter, which is like 1/20th of an inch. All right. So I bought one of those too. It's slightly smaller. As an example, the truck is the 5 millimeter and the car is the 1/4. All right. And there is a difference. When you're up close to them, you can tell a little bit easier. So I did a test. I took a partial sheet of decal paper and I sealed half of it. And then I didn't seal the other half because John had asked me, well, do you have to seal them? And I said, I don't know. I do, since there's no ink on it, why would you have to seal it? Was the question. Okay. And I said, good point. So I punched out three on the unsealed section, dipped them in, and the decal, the white star is so thin and very, 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 very delicate. It just kind of folds over and very hard to work with. All right. So I went to the other side, the sealed side, and punched some out, and they worked perfectly. So the answer to that question is yes, go ahead and seal it. Even if there's no ink on it. It makes the decal easier to work. Thomas says he can print his own decals on his color printer. Yeah, that's what I am doing, Thomas. I'm printing my own decals on my color printer. All right. The problem with white numbers is that unless you have a very high dollar printer, they don't have white ink. Okay, so you have to use a white backing paper and then try to match the background in the file to the background on the model. And I've done that with pretty good success as well. I found a setting for like olive green for military that matches the Tamiya olive drab I have. So Bob goes to Kinko's and uses a big color laser printer for decals. We don't have Kinko's. I'm surprised you have a Kinko's. I thought they were bought out by UPS. UPS, I think they're UPS stores now, aren't they? I could be wrong. At least in this part of the country. Hasn't been a Kinko's here since the 90s. Here, when I say here, I mean here in Oklahoma. So I remember when UPS bought them out and they changed, and that was before we left in 2000. So FedEx Kinko's, okay. Well, I just print my own. I don't need anything too big, too elaborate. I doubt that you can tell any difference from that number board I just did on the E8 as opposed to the one I took the FedEx. So, was it FedEx that bought Kinko's? Well, who did UPS buy that made all the UPS stores? Doesn't matter. All right. I was a military bottler 60 years ago. And I still had, and I think I still have a few of my old Rocco tanks. I gave my M47s, my M48s to CNEI John back in Florida. But I kept my Shermans, my M10 tank, M10, yeah, M10 tank destroyers, or M36, I can't remember which. And I kept my half tracks, my Jeeps, my Deuce and a Halves. They're packed away somewhere. Because I did have a military. Oh, I guess I still do have a military train somewhere packed away. But I figured as I've done so much 3D printing lately, it's nice to do something different for On Track Tuesday. And since John didn't like the light bleed through the number board back when I was doing a decoder install, I went ahead and decided I would do that. So hopefully that meets with John's approval. Look at the difference between the number board in the lower right-hand corner picture and the number board live. Next time I have the shell off of this, I may try putting something behind that door and see what I can do with it. Blame John. Yeah, I'm not blaming John. Now fix the door. Yeah. They forgot to close. John, they forgot to close the door the whole way. All right. Therefore, it is, in fact, prototypical to have the light bleed because they didn't latch the door tight. Okay? It's prototypical, John. How many military trains will we see next weekend? Where are you going, JD, that you're going to see military trains? You going down by Fort Hood? Or are you going over to Lawton? It's been a long time since I've seen a military train. I know that they ship trains out of Corpus Christi laden with military equipment. And They do that all the time. I don't know if it's they're out of Fort Hood or whether they're out of Fort Bliss. But that's where they load them up. Send them out. Anytime there's big military action, you can always count on there being clean. I'm cleaning up my mess over here. Jesus. I feel kind of stupid. Well, there's not much use of military trains coming through Oklahoma City. If they're moving anything in or out of Lawton, they're not coming through here. They'd be headed south. Because it'd be awful hard to load a container ship or a cargo vessel at the port of Catoosa for barge traffic to New Orleans. Oh, okay. For Memorial Weekend. That's not this weekend. So. I wish that camera would focus. Focus, focus, focus. It's not cooperating. I haven't cleaned my track in ages. All right. So on Friday, for Friday Live and Mail Call, I will show off well, my camera went dead, I think. It did. Huh. That camera's not live. There we go. Maybe. Boy, it lost a lot of resolution, didn't it? Let's go to this one. Friday, I will come back and show you how clear this SD45's rear lenses turned out. And I will finish up this between now and then and clean up those lenses as well. And be ready to decal those. All right. Yeah, James, good for you. I heard you mention one of your, was it Monday that you were talking? And you're saying you and your wife are going to renew your vows? Good for you. Oops, didn't want to do that. All right. Well, guys, it is, what time is it? What time is it? We have been going for 55 minutes. We got 5 minutes to go if anybody wants to say anything. Hello, Ray Bertelson. Ask any questions. It's 4:50 at Lynn's time. Of course it is. All right. At least post a picture, James. C&EI John has a big military train. He's got more military than he has train. He needs more flat cars. All right. If there's nothing else, guys. Steve, why didn't you use the clear number boards? Why did I not use clear number boards and use black letters? Well, in the case of this E unit, you may look, and if you can tell, on the other side, the engineer side, it's black with white letters. Therefore, to make it match, I use black with white letters. Did that make sense? Yes, Bob, it does get hot out here. All right, but until I get my existing shed tore down and the new shed rebuilt, this is where I do my modeling. I've got the layout you're seeing with the E unit is a switching layout, which is above me as if I switch back to here, or even switch to here, and then go like this. All right, up there is the layout. All right. But being in Oklahoma, all right, you need a place to put your car because cars and hailstorms do not agree with one another. All right. And I'm not one that likes to use a garage for storage. That's why the attic, most of my attic is decked so that I can use it for storage. But I will eventually have a 32 by 16 shed out back. (32 by 16). And I'm still debating one of two different layouts. One would be a walk around, which would actually provide more trackage than a perimeter. So, and it will be based upon the CB&Q racetrack, Chicago to Aurora. And about halfway on that run, it won't be the whole run, but it'll be a representation of it. And I grew up about at the halfway point. Okay. So I'm intimately familiar with it and have very fond memories watching trains. Yeah. Hey, Sparky. While I commend everybody that likes to go out rail fanning, all right, I don't. I'm spoiled because the racetrack had trains running on it constantly. And when I mean constantly, there wouldn't be more than 5 or 10 minute stretch throughout the course of the day, maybe 15. Between the commuter trains, you had the Zephyrs, you had Great Northern Empire Builder, you had the Northern Pacific, uh, what is it, West Coast Limited or whatever it is, and all the commuter trains. Then you had all the local freights and all of the manifest and unit trains. So I'd walk 5 or 6 blocks down to the tracks, and there was a little, almost like a McDonald's, except it was more ice cream store than it was burger place. I'd get myself an ice cream cone, and I would sit at the train station watching trains for hours at a time. So Sparky's my favorite lurker. So anyway. I got to be careful about the shed and air conditioning in it or heating. Right now, I can build the shed, and it's just a replacement for the existing shed that's there, even though it's 4 times the size. I can kind of make that fly, and it's not taxable. To be taxable, it's got to be climate controlled. So if I add heat and air to it, then it becomes taxable square footage. So there's a number of different ways I can go about that situation. I put in a couple of mobile units, that they're upright, they're on wheels. You just put a vent or 2 in to vent the hot air out. That's what I had in Florida, so might be what I go with again. So, hello, Edward at Happy Valley Hobbies. Bob, you slipped into a retirement schedule. Does it include a nap at 2:30 in the afternoon? If not, you haven't slipped all the way into the cycle yet. I still get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, just like I did when I worked. And I've been retired for 10 years. So. Track height at 36. My track heights, I like a track height that's high, but I want to have a double decker. So my lower level is probably going to be at 30 inches. But then there's going to be a staging yard under that. And then 18 inches up, which make it 4 feet to the upper level. And then another 1.5 feet up to another staging yard. So the lower staging yard would represent destinations east, south, and southwest, while the upper yard would represent western and northwestern destinations. Yeah, I'm more worried about air conditioning than I am heating. And I'll probably have to put in Amazingly enough, I did not have too many issues. Well, once I got everything set, I don't think I had any issues with buckling track in Florida. Once I got everything set. You and Andy are only 5 feet short, Ray. I got step stools. It's not a problem. So, operator height can be adjusted to meet the layout. Yeah, all the lurkers are coming out. Jason, upper level is 22 inches above the bottom. Yeah, that's about right. I was going to say 18 to 24, but yeah. James, have you gotten any mail yet? Don't say what it is if you did. I know, and I said hi back, Jason. But when he's not here, I got to blame somebody. All right. Let me know when it gets there, James. Jason's YouTube anniversary. Okay. I didn't know there was a thing. So, all right, guys. Well, we are well past our 1 hour. I hope everybody got some benefit about how to do number boards and how easy it is to do lenses or glass utilizing either tacky glue or micro crystal clear. Remember, the E unit was micro crystal clear, and this SD45, which is already starting to clear up, is Jayleen's tacky glue. Okay, so we can do a comparison on Friday. All right, thanks everybody, and remember, y'all have a great night. I'm used to saying day, but that's from Friday Live. Oh yeah, no Workbench Wednesday tomorrow since I did this tonight. But I will be on, and our crew will be on with possibly a very special guest on Friday. And we had an inquiry, and I don't have a confirmation yet, but hopefully it all works out. You're welcome, Mr. Grassi. Later, everybody. Bye.